One of the most common goals parents have is to create generational wealth for their families. And I love this goal. I mean, one of the biggest reasons of working hard, building wealth for your family is to help give your family an even better life than you had. However, most people don't really know the best ways to do that. First and foremost, before we really get into it, the one thing I really want to hit on is that passing on money is not the only way to create generational wealth. There are statistics out there that most times generational wealth is lost by the second generation. Why is that? It's because they don't value the money, they don't know how to manage it, they spend it, and they basically waste it. Build into your family. You need to not only teach them how to manage this money, but you need to show them how to do it. Let's be real, kids watch you. They learn from you. It's not only what you say, it's also what you do. So besides the whole part of educating them on money, how to manage it, how to save it, how to invest it, how to grow it, you also need to show them that you're doing those things because they're gonna learn through your example. Let's go through some ways that you can really help set up your kids. The first one is really paying for education. There's study after study out there that shows you how much more you make when you go to college than when you don't. Obviously, there's outliers to this. There's plenty of people who never went to college. They built businesses. They became really successful. But statistically, those who go to college make a lot more money. And the one thing that you can do is you can help pay for that college. Yes, there's plenty of people who believe that they should have to pay for their own college, that student loans are valuable, they can learn the value of hard work. But if you teach them really well, they can still value the education even though they didn't pay for it. To start at age 22 with no money in loans is very valuable compared to those who might have $500,000, $2,000 loan payments. All that ends up doing is making them start a little bit behind the starting line. And so this extra money they have has to go to paying off debt versus building savings, investing, a down payment of a house, etc. The second one is to help on a down payment of a house. So obviously there's plenty of people out there who are going to tell you this is outrageous, don't help your kids in this way. But at the end of the day, the way that you help your kids is up to you, right? There's not one right way to do this. It's totally situational to you and your family. A lot of times we see these high income, high net worth families, they want their kids to move back close to them, but they live in areas that's pretty unattainable. And so whether you help on the down payment of a house, you help pay for the whole house, etc., that is a really great way to set them up. The additional benefit of that is you can help them get to a 20% down payment. They don't have to save as long for that. They'll avoid PMI, and because they got to 20% down, they're gonna have a lower monthly payment than if they only were able to put maybe 5% down. The third way is you can help employ them at your business. You can help with grandkids education as well. But those are really great ways to help get your kids off to a good start. A lot of times people are very afraid of gifting and giving money while alive, that what they end up doing is that they just wait to pass away and then give them the money. But I don't really love this idea. Obviously, you do what's important to you, but I really love the idea of being able to help your kids while you're alive, see that impact. In all reality, most people receive their inheritances somewhere between 50 to 60 years old. That's when they're going to need the money less than getting it at their 20s or 30s when they don't have a lot of money, they don't have a lot of surplus, and they need to make some of these big purchases. So those are some of the best strategies. Now let's go into accounts. So let's say that you have some young kids and you're trying to figure out, how do I help set them up well? How do I help invest for them? So the first thing is that if you own a business and your kids are old enough, you can employ them. You can employ them to do some video editing. They can do some admin work. They can maybe even clean up the offices, and you can pay them a reasonable amount. So let's say that they work, 200 hours, you're gonna pay them $30 an hour, they're gonna earn $6,000. Well, what you can do is you can pay them that $6,000, they can take that home, but they have now earned income and you could contribute $6,000 to a Roth IRA for them so that money can grow tax-free. This is a common strategy a lot of business owners use, but you wanna make sure you do this right. No paying your one-year-old $12,000 a year for baby modeling unless that's somehow exactly what your business is about. You really have to have work that is available. You need to pay them the right way. They need to have earned income, and then you can contribute to a custodial Roth IRA. Okay, the next one is from a 529 plan. So 529 plans are specific for college. The great part about them is in some states, you're gonna get a tax deduction or a tax credit. In Indiana, if you put in $7,500, you get a tax credit and you'll end up saving $1,500 on taxes. Other states, you get a deduction, so look at your state. That's one benefit. On top of that, that money can grow tax-free and that money can be used tax-free on college. So this is a way to help set them up. They don't have to pay for college, but also if you overfund it, there's now a new rule that if it's been open for 15 years, you have that beneficiary on there, you can convert those funds to a Roth IRA. They count as a contribution. So you can do the annual limit, $7,000 a year, up to a total of $35,000 over 5 years. So imagine you pay for their kids' college and they have $35,000 left over to fund Roth IRAs for the first 5 years. That allow them to save for a down payment, allow them to put more into their 401k, really just to be in a really good situation. So the 529 is an awesome one. The next one is a taxable brokerage account in your name. So maybe you want to help pay for college or help set them up in the future. You want to set up a taxable brokerage account. You contribute to that yearly, and then eventually you gift it to them. Obviously, you can only end up gifting about $18,000 per year, but from husband and wife, you could get $36,000 to a child. Anything above that, you're going to have to log on a gift tax return and use some of your lifetime exemption. But if you haven't gone over that exemption, that isn't a taxable number. So this is a good way to do it. A lot of times people do like using this account because if they ever need those funds, they can use it. If they don't want to gift it to their kids, they don't have to because it's not in their name. So that's why it can be really great. The next one is an UTMA or an UGMA account. All that basically means is a taxable brokerage account for a child. So what you can do is you can put money into that, you can let that be invested, and then when your kid turns 18 or 21, that becomes theirs. The downside is that it's irreversible. So when you put money in, that money is theirs. You can't pull it out if you ever need it. That's why a lot of times I don't like it. And I also don't like just having a gift at 18 or 21. Sometimes kids aren't ready for that and you don't necessarily want them to go spend that money. The last one is really setting up trust for your kids. So there's plenty of irrevocable trusts or other type of trusts that you can set up that can have rules that they get X amount of dollars at this age and this age, they can distribute it out. This is where things become a lot more complex. And then the last one is really like helping your kids with loans. So let's say current interest rate of the market, 7.5% for a mortgage. You can actually be the bank and lend at AFR rates. AFR rates are basically like a family loan. You have to do this. You can't just give them a 0% loan. If you do, then technically the interest that's forgiven is part of a gift. So let's say you lend it to them at an AFR rate of, let's say it's 4.3%. Well, now they have a loan that's 3% lower, which is actually really, really advantageous. So at the end of the day, there are a lot of ways to set up your family for generational wealth, whether that's setting up the accounts on their kids, whether that's teaching them about how to handle money and the right things to do, whether that's helping them on college or a down payment of a house. There's a lot of great ways to help set up for your kids. What's really important is you figure out the ways that you want to help them and make sure that you're also educating them on how to best handle their finances, because it's not just money, it's not just education. The combination of the two can become really powerful. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and go subscribe to my channel for more personal finance content. And as always, please leave your thoughts in the comments below and I promise to get back to every single one of them. See you back next week.